ones, welcome back to Plus One channel. How are you doing? Today we are moving on to Unit 4, Live and Let Live. The highest education is that which does not merely gives us information but makes our life in harmony with all its existence.
Today, we are faced with a challenge that calls for a shift in our thinking so that humanity stops threatening its life support system.
Yes, it's Wangari Maathai who won through her Nobel Prize acceptance speech how environment gone to suffer in future.
Child, come here. Come to outside. No.
beings, right? How cruelly we exploited the nature. Now, watch video with your textbook. The role played by trees in maintaining the ecological balance in the modern world is vital. Read the Nobel Prize acceptance speech by Wangari Maathai, who nurtures a sensitive and reverential love for nature. When a sapling is planted by Wangari Maathai. She is a Kenyan environmental and political activist. In 1970s, Maathai founded the Green Belt Movement, an environmental non-governmental organization which focused on the planting of trees. Underline it. Environmental conservation and women's rights. Again, she became the first African woman to receive the Nobel Prize for her contribution to sustainable development, democracy and peace. When a sapling is planted is her Nobel Prize acceptance speech. So, now we can start the chapter. Your Majesties, Your Royal Highness, Honorable Members of Norwegian Nobel Committee, Excellencies, Ladies and Gentlemen. As the first African woman to receive this prize, I accept it on behalf of the people of Kenya and Africa and indeed the world. I am especially mindful of women and the girl child. I hope it will encourage them to raise their voices and take more space for leadership. My inspiration comes from my childhood experience and observation of nature in rural Kenya. As I was growing up, I witnessed forests being cleared and replaced by commercial plantation which destroyed local biodiversity, underline it, and the capacity of forests to conserve water. In 1977, when we started the Green Belt movement, I was partly responding to the needs identified by rural women, namely lack of firewood, clean drinking water, balanced diets, shelter, and income. Throughout Africa, women are the primary caretakers, holding significant responsibility for tilling the land and feeding their families. As a result, they are often the first to become aware of environmental damage as resources become scarce and they are incapable of sustaining their families. The women we worked with recounted that, unlike in the past, they were unable to meet their basic needs. This was due to the degradation of their immediate environment as well as the introduction of commercial farming, which replaced the growing of household food. But international trade controlled the price of the exports from these small-scale farmers, and a reasonable and just income could not be guaranteed. I came to understand that when the environment is destroyed, plundered, or mismanaged, we undermine the quality of our life and that of future generations. Tree planting became a natural choice to address some of the initial basic needs identified by women. Also, tree planting is simple, attainable, and guarantees quick successful result within a reasonable amount of time. Underline it. This sustains interest and commitment. Together, we have planted over 30 million trees that provide fuel, food, shelter, and income to support our children's education and household needs. The activity also creates employment and improves soil and watersheds. Initially, the work was difficult because they were unaware that a degraded environment leads to scramble for scarce resources and may culminate in poverty and even conflict. They were also unaware of the injustice of international economic arrangements.
Later, they became aware of the widespread destruction of the ecosystems, especially through deforestation. Climatic instability and contamination of the soil and waters all contributed to excruciating poverty and subsequent riots. Although initially the Green Belt movement's tree planting activities did not address issues of democracy and peace, it soon became clear that a responsible governance of the environment was impossible without democratic space. Therefore, the tree became a symbol for democratic struggle in Kenya. Citizens were mobilized to challenge widespread abuse of power, corruption, and environmental mismanagement. In time, the tree also became a symbol for peace and conflict resolution, especially during ethnic conflicts. Underline it. Using trees as symbol of peace is in keeping with a widespread African tradition. For example, the elders of the Kikuyu carried a staff from the tiki tree that, when placed between two disputing sides, caused them to stop fighting and seek reconciliation. Such practices are part of an extensive cultural heritage which contribute both to the conservation of habitats and to cultures of peace. Excellencies, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it is 30 years since we started this work. Activities that devastate the environment and societies continue unabated. Today, we are faced with a challenge that calls for a shift in our thinking so that humanity stops threatening its life support system. We are called to assist the earth to heal her wounds and in the process heal our own. Indeed, to embrace the whole of creation in all its diversity, beauty, and wonder. Underline it. This will happen only if we see the need to revive our sense of belonging to a larger family of life with which we have shared our evolutionary process. There can be no peace without equitable development, and there can be no development without sustainable management of the environment in a democratic and peaceful space. This shift is an idea whose time has come. Underline it. In the course of history, there comes a time when humanity is called to shift to a new level of consciousness to reach a higher moral ground. A time when we have to shed our fear and give hope to each other. That time has now arrived. I call on world leaders to expand democratic space and build fair and just societies that allow the creativity and energy of their citizens to flourish. I would like to call on young people to commit themselves to activities that contribute toward achieving their long-term dreams. They have the energy and the creativity to shape a sustainable future. To the young people, I say, you are a gift to your communities and indeed the world. You are our hope and our future. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I reflect on my childhood experience when I would visit a stream next to our home to fetch water for my mother. I would drink water straight from the stream, playing among the arrowroot leaves. I tried in vain to pick up strands of frogs' eggs, believing they were bees. But every time I put my little fingers under them, they would break. Later, I saw thousands of tadpoles, black, energetic, and wriggling through the clear water against the background of the brown earth. This is the world I inherited from my parents. Today, over 50 years later, the stream has dried up. Women walk long distance for water, which is not always clean, and children will never know what they have lost. The challenge is to restore the home of the tadpole and give back to our children a world of beauty and wonder. Thank you very much.
Welcome back. Now be familiar with these difficult words. First one, excruciating. Second one, reconciliation. Third one, biodiversity. Fourth one, flourish. Fifth one, contamination. Now, activity time. Draft a speech that you will deliver after receiving the award and scores 8 marks. I'd say sure question. So, once again think how we can can make our environment free from all pollutions. Lastly, share this video whom you think are in need of it. Thank you.